Hi, I'm Mike, founder of GoodBed. Today we're going to take you through the entire brand new collection of iComfort Pro mattresses from Serta. Now these mattresses have some great feels that are very different from anything you've seen from iComfort in the past, as well as that are very different from the iComfort memory foam lineup that we covered in another video. So we're excited to show them to you. Stick around. Now, one of the reasons that we're so excited to show you this product line is that it heavily features a material called latex. Now, unless you're a GoodBed devotee, you may not even know that latex is a material used in mattresses. We, of course, have a video all about latex and why we think it's a good material, how it's used in mattresses and some of the different types of latex and so forth. And of course, we've covered other products that utilize latex as well. However, at least in my 16 years doing this, this is the first time that we've seen a major brand, one of the largest brands in the industry, feature latex so prominently in one of its flagship brands. And what this means is that for all those people for whom a latex mattress would be a great fit, whether or not you even know you fall into that category, and in my opinion, there are a lot of people in that category, there will now be, in many cases for the first time, an opportunity to try this type of mattress and buy it from a local store in your area, as well as to buy it from a major well-known national brand through their website. So ultimately, I think this will mean that more consumers will find their best match than ever before, and I'm quite excited about that. Now at this point you may be wondering, what is it that's so special about latex that makes it such a great fit for so many people? Well, let's start with durability. You may or may not know that in addition to the editorial work we do, GoodBed is in fact the largest consumer review platform for mattresses on the internet. And bar none, the #1 complaint we get on GoodBed about mattresses is when they sag. Or, this mattress developed body impressions, or it sagged, or it just didn't last as long as I hoped it would. Well, that almost always has to do with something that broke down with the comfort materials on top of the mattress. And as it relates to comfort materials on the market today, latex is hands down the most time-tested, proven material available. It has been used going back to the 1950s, and there are stories of latex mattresses that have been used for 30, 40 years in some cases. This is part of the reason that kind of a not so well kept secret within the mattress industry is that by far the most common thing that people in the mattress industry sleep on is latex. So this is kind of well known in the industry, but not well known outside of the industry. Now, what else does latex have going for it? Well, let's start with support. It's a very buoyant, supportive material that's going to keep the heaviest parts of your body well supported. Number 2, it's great for pressure relief. Similar to other premium high-density foams, you're going to get excellent pressure relief from latex as a material because it can conform very closely to your body's curves due to its high point elasticity. Number 3, it's a very breathable material. So in terms of keeping your mattress cool without even the need for explicit cooling features, latex is kind of just doing that work through the natural course of just being itself. And there's other benefits too, it's more resistant to microbes and so forth. And of course, another great benefit of latex that is of huge importance to many people is that it is natural. In fact, the latex used in this iComfort Pro line is 100% natural, meaning it comes exclusively, entirely from the sap of a rubber tree. For those of you who know a little bit about the latex used in mattresses, this is 100% natural Dunlop latex, and it is sustainably sourced predominantly from a factory in Sri Lanka. Now, even if you're not someone who always buys from the organic aisle at the grocery store, it may just be reassuring to you to know that you're not going to have any possibility even of being exposed to harmful chemicals coming from this material. And the last thing I'll note on this is that from a preference standpoint, there are certainly many people out there who can get some of these benefits from other materials, but maybe they don't like the feel of those materials. Maybe they like the pressure relief, for example, that they can get from memory foam, but they don't like the feeling of sleeping in quicksand. They don't like that slow melting into the bed sensation or being kind of hugged or cradled so much. Latex offers those same benefits with a different feel. It's a very quick responding material. It's very buoyant, as I was saying before. So even though it's able to conform closely to your curves, it doesn't give you the sensation of feeling trapped in your mattress. So just from the standpoint of personal preference, for some people, this is going to be appealing on that front and offer benefits that they might not have felt were available to them given those preferences. And the last general point I'll make about latex is about latex allergies. Some of you may have latex allergies, some of you may know people with latex allergies, and I'm obviously not going to provide medical advice in this video. That's not my domain. That being said, what I do want to do is encourage you not to rule out latex mattresses on that basis alone without doing a little bit of research, because there are many people who have latex allergies who sleep very successfully and peacefully on latex mattresses every night for two reasons. One is that most latex allergies are contact dermatitis, meaning they are triggered by direct contact with the latex. Well, in this case, obviously the latex is sealed up, sewn up inside this mattress, and there's no situation where when you touch this mattress that you're ever going to be coming in direct contact with the latex. The second thing is that in most cases, the allergies that people have are triggered by proteins that, in the case of the manufacturing process for latex foam, which is different from the latex manufacturing process for things like latex gloves, for example, those proteins get washed away. So they're not even present in the latex foam in the first place. So again, not my position to provide medical advice, but I would encourage you to do a little bit of research, because if you can get better sleep on this product, it's worth doing that research to figure out if maybe this can still work for you. Now, with all that having been said, and I did think it was important to provide a bit of context about latex in this video, because I do expect that there will be many people watching this video who will be essentially learning about latex mattresses for the first time. Now I want to get into kind of the specifics of this product line, the iComfort Pro product line, and all the features and characteristics that the 8 models in this collection have in common. And of course, it starts with the latex. But the latex in the iComfort Pro line has some unique characteristics to it. I had mentioned already that this is 100% natural latex. Not all latex is 100% natural. It is Dunlop latex. And the other most noteworthy thing about this latex is that it is all zoned with this pattern that you see to my left. So basically, one of the hallmarks that Serta is establishing for all of its products, including the iComfort line, is the idea of zoning in all of their products. Zoning to promote better spinal alignment, and also zoning to allow for better conformance to your pointy parts when you're sleeping on your side. That will enhance pressure relief. And in the case of this iComfort Pro line, the way they're achieving that is through zoning that is in the latex itself. So effectively what they're doing is creating softer and firmer sections of each sheet of latex. And they're doing that by pin core holes. So pin core holes are present anytime latex is used in a mattress, a layer of latex foam. It always has pin core holes in it. That is just to give it a little bit more just to make it a little bit more comfortable, allow it to be a little more conforming. If it was just a flat sheet of solid latex, it wouldn't be able to perform that role nearly as effectively. So you're never gonna find latex in a mattress that doesn't have pin core holes. But what's unique here is the pattern of the pin core holes and how they are used to create zoning. So what you have here is these pin core holes being overall smaller and taking away less material, those create a firmer zone. And that firmer zone resides under what is effectively your lumbar area. And obviously the expectation is that you'll periodically rotate your mattress from time to time. So you want to have a lumbar area essentially on each side of the mattress. The other 3 sections in this 5-zoned pattern are to allow they effectively create a little bit more softness in those sections, a little more give and a little more conformance. And the reason why you want that characteristic in those areas is, for example, those are your pointy parts. So when I'm on my side, my pointiest part is my shoulder. My shoulder needs to get into the mattress a little bit in order for my spine to maintain proper alignment when I'm on my side. Likewise, for many people, your hips can be a pointy part of your body. So again, like you're giving your hips just a little bit of opportunity. It's a very targeted zone there, just right around that hip area, to give you a chance to that hip to conform, or the mattress to conform to your hip while still supporting your lumbar. So that's what this zoning is designed to do. And essentially all the latex used in the iComfort Pro models, whether it's used up at the top of the mattress, or even in the support layers. As we get to some of the higher end models, they even use latex down in the support layers. All of it is zoned, and we definitely notice a difference in terms of these mattresses' ability then to conform to your curves, particularly when you're on your side, because of that zoning. And just as a brief demonstration, I can show you here, this is the firmer latex here, and this is the softer latex, and it's demonstrably got a little bit more resistance on this side and a little less resistance on this side. And so you could easily see how it is that the mattress is able to better conform, to my shoulders as an example, as a result of this zoning pattern. So all of these iComfort Pro models use latex. They use it right up at the top of the mattress, right underneath the quilt layer. And they use at least 2 inches of it, although in most cases they use quite a bit more than that. And it all has this unique pin core hole zoning pattern, which is what that in combination with the 100% all natural latex is what Serta calls true response latex. And the other feature that I want to cover that all of these iComfort Pro mattresses have in common is their cover. And the kind of key thing about this cover is that it has a cooling feature, which comes from the fact that there is a higher density yarn used in this cover fabric, which gives this fabric a bit of a sheen, in fact. But this higher density yarn, it's called polyethylene fiber, has kind of an inherent coolness to the touch, which I can feel most definitely, and you will feel when you touch these or lie down on these mattresses. And the reason it has that effect is essentially it works in much the same way that a higher density material like marble would have an inherent coolness to the touch relative to a lower density material like wood. So by use of this yarn in the fabric, it gives that coolness to the touch to the fabric itself. That coolness to the touch is not necessarily something that is going to keep you cool all night, but it is going to help keep you cool during those first 20 minutes or so when you just lie down into bed and are falling asleep, which is maybe the most important time. And as we already talked about, the latex itself is a very breathable material. It not only has the pin core holes that go through it, but it also is just a very kind of open cell type of material that allows air to flow more freely through it in general. So that is what will ultimately keep you cool throughout the night, but this will help just kind of keep you cool while you're falling asleep. And I should just mention that this fabric is what Serta calls Cool Feel Pro. What they mean by that is just simply the fabric that uses this higher density yarn, and they call it Cool Feel Pro because in the iComfort memory foam line that we showed in another video, they have a fabric that they call Cool Feel fabric. And essentially the Pro version of that fabric just uses more of that high density polyethylene fiber. And then the last thing I'll note about the commonalities amongst these models is just continuing with the cover. The side panels on all of these mattresses are going to be the same, and you're going to get 8 handles on all these mattresses, at least in a queen size and above, which is helpful because, as I mentioned, latex is a heavy material, so you're going to want to be able to grab it from all sides when you're moving or rotating the mattress. The last point I want to add just about this line in general is that Serta's not making any claims about this being an all-natural or organic mattress. They're certainly excited about the ability to bring their customers this all-natural latex as part of the mattress, but their focus first and foremost is on creating a mattress that is comfortable, supportive, and durable. And in order to do that, they are obviously using latex because it's a great material for that. But they're not limiting themselves to latex in the way that maybe a mattress that is really exclusively focused on being natural would have to do. And so what they're able to do is add a little bit of foam in some places where it really does add a lot to the feel, such as in the quilt layer. So you are going to have some polyurethane foam used in these mattresses, most commonly in the quilt layer, which is basically just going to give them a more familiar feel, which I think is going to make the benefits of latex more accessible and appealing to a much wider audience. So now, with that said, let's get into the specific models here. And again, as I mentioned, there are 8 total models in this line, and you can think of them as sort of 3 little sub-collections. The first one being of 2 models. You have the Granby Extra Firm, and you have the Chelsea Medium that I'm on right now. And so the reason these are a sub-collection is because both of these use 2 inches of that true response latex. Again, it's going to be right up at the top, just underneath the quilt layer. So they have sort of that's how they kind of hang together at the entry level of this line. In terms of their feels, our assessments actually line up identically with the names that Serta has given these products. We would classify the Granby as an extra firm, meaning like a 2 on our 1 through 9 softness scale. And we would classify the Chelsea as a 5, a dead medium on our softness scale. So, and in terms of cushioning depth, one of the things that you generally find with cushioning depth is it tends to line up a lot more closely with latex than it does with materials like memory foam, where there can be a big distinction between how much initial softness a mattress has and how much you ultimately over time sink into it. Whereas here it's kind of, this responds instantly, so if if it has this much softness, you're going to go that far into it, and as a result our cushioning depth assessments are essentially the same as our softness assessments, a 2 and a 5. There's no memory foam in these mattresses, so no memory feel to speak of. And in terms of bounce, one thing I did not mention is that in these first couple of models, the core, the support of these mattresses is coming from foam. It's not a spring mattress. So you have a 7-inch foam core at the bottom. And so in the case of the Granby, I think the firmness of that foam core and the firmness of the latex gives it a fair bit of bounce. Because of the plushness of the Chelsea, it actually kind of mitigates the bounce, and the foam core itself doesn't have that much bounce. So we would say kind of average amount of bounce on this one and a little bit above average on the Granby. And both of these, it should be added, have excellent edge support. All right, so now we've moved up to the middle sort of mini collection within this broader iComfort Pro lineup, level 2, if you will. And you can tell the difference here visually, just there's a little bit more blue in the cover signifying the change here. But what's really different inside the mattress is you're gonna get more latex. In fact, quite a bit more. You're gonna get twice as much, to be specific, in a couple of these, and even more than that in the one that I'm on. So the first couple mattresses I showed you were an 11.5-inch and a 12-inch mattress. The next 3 in this middle sub-collection are going to be a little bit taller than that. The Ambrose Firm is 13 inches and the Ambrose Plush is also 13 inches. And then you have a pillow top, which is the one I'm on here, called the Dartmouth Plush pillow top, and that's 15 inches. And they're going to use, the Ambrose models are going to use 4 inches of that same true response latex. And the Plush pillow top model actually uses 5. So quite a bit more latex in these mattresses. They're still going to use the same foam core for the underlying support. Now, in terms of the feel of these 3 models, we'd classify the Ambrose Firm as a firm on our softness scale. We'd classify the Ambrose Plush as a medium soft, not quite to a soft, but certainly a little softer than medium. And we would classify the Dartmouth Plush pillow top as actually a medium. And as with the first 2 models, the cushioning depth mostly follows the softness. However, the one exception would be this Plush pillow top, where we actually found that this one has the deepest cushioning. Certainly going to get more of that hugged or cradled sensation on this one, even with that medium softness level. Whereas on the Ambrose models, the cushioning depth pretty much mirrors the softness. And the other thing I wanted to say about the conformance here is that I mentioned earlier that we can see the benefits of the zoning they did in the latex. And I'd say that this is the part of the line where you could start to see those benefits, and it gets even more pronounced as you go up from here. But basically, one of the challenges I face in finding a mattress is that I have relatively broad shoulders, but I also have pretty narrow or arguably non-existent hips. And as a result, it can be hard for me to find a mattress that can adequately conform to my shoulders without letting my hips sink too far into the mattress, because the objective is ultimately to keep my spine, when I'm on my side, in that pretty much kind of parallel to the ground shape. And what I found on these mattresses is that my shoulders, so normally what happens is I get on a mattress, and if I'm gonna get like up to a 6 or a 7 in terms of my ability to conform, I've probably got like an 8 in my hips, So what I really want is to be, in my case, I want it to actually be inverted. Like I want it to be less sinkage in my hips and more in my shoulders. And in these cases, I'm able to get at least to parity. And as we go up in the line, we'll talk about this, but uniquely, I'm able to get even beyond that to where I really need to be in terms of conforming more to my shoulders and less to my hips. And the reason I think this works is that even though that sort of softer zone does exist under the hips, I'm still buoyed in my lumbar, and the latex itself does have a buoyance just in general. When you disperse enough weight across it, like in my hips, I have a little more surface area. So it somehow is able to keep my hips up in that center third of the mattress, but in this really pointy part here in my shoulder, in that soft zone, especially when there's at least 4, 5, and as we go up in the line, even more inches of latex that is zoned in that same way, all stacked together, I can really get conformance in that pointy part. It will really accommodate it. And in terms of other characteristics of these 3 mattresses, all I would really say is that obviously none of them have any memory feel to speak of. The Ambrose firm has both the most bounce as well as the best edge support of the 3. All right, so now we've stepped up to the top of the line within this iComfort Pro collection. And again, you're gonna have 3 models here. You're gonna have the Kingston firm, the Canterbury Plush, and the Buckingham Plush pillow top. They're 14, 15, and 16 inches respectively, and they use 10, 12, and 13 inches of total latex respectively. And the reason why the latex amount goes up so much at this part of the lineup is because there is no longer a foam core here for your support. Your support is now coming from a 6-inch block of firm latex. So it's a firm formulation of that same all-natural latex that's used throughout, but obviously the support core, they want that to be especially supportive, so they're using a firmer latex down there than they would use up in the comfort layers. So that's really the first upgrade that you're getting at this level, is you're getting the latex core, which does allow that zoning and those zoning benefits to work even better, as I was just describing. I was able to get my shoulder much deeper into the mattress because that because that zoned latex went deeper into the stack. It allowed that conformance to work even better for me. And the other benefit, as at least in the case of the Plush and the Plush pillow top, is you get also additional comfort latex. So you're gonna get 6 inches of comfort latex on top of that latex core on the Plush, and 7 inches of comfort latex on the Plush pillow top. So that's just gonna give you more of those benefits of latex that we talked about earlier. But even beyond that, and perhaps more importantly for most people, you're also gonna get some different feels on these 3. And these feels, I think, are gonna be appealing, in my opinion, for a pretty large number of people. They're kind of unique in the marketplace. The combination of the relatively soft quilting layers with the kind of buoyant latex underneath them, and the way they've kind of stacked it all together, it allows there to be some like surface plushness without you feeling like you're sinking deep into the mattress. If you want like that kind of luxurious softness, but you also want to feel like you're being supported, these mattresses offer a really nice combination. And that's probably true, by the way, not just of these 3 at the top of the line, but all the way down the line. I think that combination is evident. But in the case of these 3 top of the line ones, I think you get the most plushness relative to the support. And just building on that, our softness assessments of these 3 models were that we classify the firm as a medium on our spectrum, the Plush as a medium soft, just to the softer side of medium, and then the Plush pillow top as a soft. So 5, 6, and 7 essentially on our softness scale. And the cushioning depth more or less follows suit with that. In terms of other feel characteristics, obviously no memory feel. The bounce, it might be surprising to some people that the latex performs more or less like a spring unit. So essentially you're gonna get a noticeably higher amount of bounce on these 3 top of the line models than you will on the ones that use the foam core. It'll be kind of comparable to if you had latex over pocketed springs or something like that. And then in terms of the edge support, I would just add that all 3 of these have very good edge support. All right, so there you have it. That's our full rundown of the brand new iComfort Pro line from Serta. We obviously covered a lot of ground. We gave you a lot of data in that video, but we didn't even nearly cover all the assessments that we made of these mattresses in our testing. And if you just want to have all this information presented in a much maybe more easily digestible form, I'd highly recommend going to our website, goodbed.com, and looking up the models that you're interested in. In fact, you can use our side-by-side comparison tool to put them right up next to each other or compare them to any other mattresses that you may be considering across not just the characteristics that we covered here, but also our assessments for spinal alignment, pressure relief, motion isolation, and any number of other features. So I hope you take advantage of that in your research. And in the meantime, Thanks for watching, and we really hope you sleep well.